Welcome to episode 2 of the program Not Another Nigerian. On this episode, we are in Yola City, Adamawa State capital, and we shall be looking at the effects of insurgency in Adamawa State. The theme of this week's episode is rebuilding lives. So we're going to be seeing how lives were rebuilt after they were affected by insurgency. So you're going to be seeing people who had their lives from zero to heroes. We have a lot of heroes on the program today and you want to meet them. But first, let's move over to Abuja. We went to the streets of Abuja and asked some people, what do they think their contribution should be to counter violent extremism? You'll be shocked at some of their answers. Let's take a listen.
Talk about extreme violence, it means violence at its peak, at its height. Taking for instance the killings, the gruesome killings in the country that are politically or religiously motivated.
Extreme violence, is a situation whereby there is coerce between any form of fight or misunderstanding.
Violence in instance is not being at peace with people around you or your surroundings.
Yeah, most of the violence is happening in this country. Some lack of job, some inequalities. Maybe I support this one, you don't support this person. Then at the end of the day, we start fighting each other.
My own rule is that the violence that don't start immediately. It started from a point that now escalates. For example, from my home, I will make sure that I live peacefully with everybody. Then outside, I will make sure that I show love to one another, especially Igbo, Hausa, and Yorubas.
Advocacy, of course, advocating for peaceful coexistence, peacefully living as one Nigerian. Because I believe if we have, like the Nigerians, if we have what it takes to live happily, no youth ordinarily want to take into violence.
What I do sometimes to reduce this violence things is, I mind what I say, and when talks like violent talks like tribalistic talks and partisan talks that can instigate violence, some of those things I try to stay away from them.
It's my duty and your duty, and also for the security personnel. And for the security personnel to do their work, I have to do my own primary assignment by giving out valuable information about how they operate or where they hide.
I'm sure you are very shocked at some of the answers or some of the responses we got in that vox pop. It's time to tell our story, the story of insurgents' attack in Adamawa State. We had many local governments. In fact, out of 21 local governments, 7 local governments were under siege by the insurgents. But that is all history now. So let's take a look at our heroes, those who were apprehensive to come into Adamawa State to do their youth service, those who were posted here just to come work and were apprehensive, the fears and how those fears have turned to joys right now. It's something you want to relax, sit back and enjoy the stories of ordinary Nigerians like you and I who are making a living right here in Adamawa State. Enjoy.
Adamawa State, carved out of the old Gongola State in 1991, is known as the Land of Beauty. Ironically, this Land of Beauty was one of the 3 northern states shaken by the activities of insurgents. In fact, out of its 21 local government areas, 7 of them were worst hit and taken under siege. But that is history now, as the state has been liberated and is currently bursting with life. Commercial activities have returned and residents are back on their duty posts, living their lives. This is Yola, the capital city. The name Yola is a Fufude name and it means the Great Plain. Yola has a population of 350,000. I took a drive and a walk round the city to feel the atmosphere, I saw ease on people's faces and ordinary Nigerians irking living with little that they had.
Okay, so I got hungry and I was told about this place on Bank Road in Jimeta. Jimeta is one of the most popular places in Yola City, and it's Ibom Dish Restaurant. I hear they have the best food from that part of the town, I mean South Akwa Ibom State. And we're going inside to taste out of the sumptuous meal from Akwa Ibom.
I met Chima Osuji, a pharmacist. He said when he was posted to Adamawa State from Lagos 5 months ago, he reluctantly agreed to come. But when he decided, he came with a clause. He prepared himself for war.
Yeah, 5 months now. It has been so nice. It has been, in fact, I have developed, there's this thing that has happened to me. I've developed this courage, the mind. You can't even imagine, just 4 days after the bomb blast, the twin bomb blast in Mubi, on the 1st of May, I traveled to Mubi.
What gave you
peacefully? I had the courage because I have now understood the way the bomb incidents happen, and tactically and with much studies, I've tried to see how I can avoid places of incidents. You know, because first of all, I had to know where the bomb happened and how it happened, and start planning myself towards being so security conscious, especially when I get to such areas. You know, but I went in there trusting God. That is another thing, which is the main primary safety that we have. Trusted God. I went there, said nothing will happen. I went in, and
you have friends who were here when the insurgency was really tough in this state. How do you see them building their lives? Do you think that everything is coming back to normal as fast as possible?
Yes, yes, very, very, very well, especially in Mubi. Mubi was being taken over by the BH boys, that's the way we call them, the BH guys. It was being taken over for some period of time, but if you go to Mubi now, Mubi is back. Business moving freely, everybody going about his normal daily activities, hospital working, the offices are functional very well, market is booming, you know, and they are back, they are stronger now. Life goes on very well in Mubi.
I met with the owner of Ibom Dish, Deborah Atisambo, and she has actually served my team and I an array of dish that they prepare here. So if you come to Yola, you can have this in Ibom Dish. Deborah, tell us about, which soup is this one?
It's draw soup.
This is draw soup, which is actually ogbono soup.
Ogbono and okra.
Ogbono and okra. So which one is this?
This one is bitter leaf.
Bitter leaf
Yes, soup.
Wow. We are going to really have a nice time today. And that one is?
Afang.
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 And this afang is very popular with the Akwa Ibom and Calabar axis.
Yes.
And this is semo.
Semo.
Semo. This is
Eba. Gari. This is akpu.
Oh, you do akpu here?
Yes, yes, good. Yes. Good.
And this is
pounded
yam. So we have semo, 4 different, like in Nigeria, we call them swallows. 4 different types of swallows that we can eat. But let's talk about you for a while, because I see you're doing, I mean, the business is flourishing right here.
Good, yeah.
And you're not from Yola. You're from where?
Akwa Ibom State.
Akwa Ibom State. What made you come to Yola?
Has been written in the Bible that as long as Abraham has moved from his fatherland to another land, so we are.
So
because
who's the Abraham now?
We are the seed of Abraham. We have to move as our father.
I mean, how long have you been here in Yola?
Good. It's more than 15 years.
Wow, 15 years. So you were here when there were insurgent attacks, there were Boko Haram, or like somebody says, BH attacks.
Sure.
How did it go?
We cope up.
How did you cope?
With God mighty is our savior.
Were you hiding?
No. We didn't.
Was business going on?
Going on.
You mean despite the attacks, you were still opening?
We are still opening here. You can call anybody and ask. We open.
I heard there was a time, there's the Jimeta market. It was closed. How did you cope?
Shut down because we have all our stock in. We have all our stock in. We do shopping and kept things that would take us 2 weeks, except meats that we go to Mayanga.
Did you know that this was going to happen?
We didn't know. That's how we did our shopping. Wow. Good.
Now tell us, since peace has been coming back to this country, and to this part of the state, how is life with people, your customers, rebuilding your business and making sure that, I'm sure the way customers used to come in that time was not as much. When the attacks were much, the people weren't coming so many. Sure. But now people are coming in now. So how are you coping, rebuilding the business and all that?
Because our business is moving. We lack nothing. The interest keep on coming in. We cook and we saw our interest. That's how we use it to develop our business. And all our customers, they cope up with us.
Down Jimeta Road, one of the busiest commercial districts in Yola, is the shopping complex. The Nigerian spirit is alive here. People from different parts of the country come to Yola to ply their trade in this area. I stopped by a stationery store to speak with the owner.
Running away from a particular place because there is crisis there is like running away from your house because it rains. It rains everywhere. There is nowhere you go you won't find problem. And as far as I'm concerned, if you ask me, my personal opinion though, Yola is one of the best and most peaceful, unquote, place you can stay in Nigeria. And I have my reasons.
Yeah, say your reasons.
My reasons are, despite insurgency, Yola is very accommodating. In terms of things we see in other places, Yola is very accommodating. And I'm enjoying myself in Yola as a matter of fact.
This is Peace Hospital, a medical center in the heart of Yola. Here we have a young doctor who actually was posted to Adamawa State for his youth service. Dr. Uche Edwin Nwakwo had a chat with us.
My journey to Yola started precisely 3 years ago when I was posted to Adamawa for my National Youth Service. And as at then, the insurgency was, I would say it was at its peak, though it was simmering down a bit. And at first, I was a bit apprehensive because of the unpleasant information, unpleasant stories that were coming from the northeast, of which Adamawa was not exempted. And what I had in mind was a quick relocation. And when I informed my parents about my posting to Yola, they were also apprehensive as well.
So tell us about your experience of being here, especially when you came in the thick of the insurgency.
When I got to Yola, Yola was very calm. It was not what I had envisaged. The people were friendly. From the day I reported at my place of primary assignments, I had everything going on very fine. I was surprised, but this wasn't what I heard at first. Right from the day I resumed at my place of primary assignments, and from my job description as a doctor, and from every other responsibility that was every responsibility that I had to handle, it had all been interesting, and I would say there had been a fun side of it as well.
It's nighttime in Yola, and the crew and I were certainly not going to pass the opportunity of having some social activities. It is surprising to see the nightlife here is almost as buzzy as the day life. Hung Eatery is one of the happening spots in the city. Beside it is the fruit store to buy fruits that can help you digest your food. Beyond the very active and bustling life of Yola are the pains of some direct victims of Boko Haram attacks. They live in the internally displaced persons camps. Reports have it that there were as many as 16 formal camps for Boko Haram victims in the state, but that may have reduced to 2. However, this excludes the informal camps which are not registered and litter across the state. Out of the about 1.9 million people internally displaced because of the insurgency attacks, 152,000 are from Adamawa. We drive into Makohi IDP camp, just at the outskirts of Yola City. Life here is a mixed grill. We had the chance to speak with Nicholas Samuel. He is the community head and has been in this IDP camp for 4 years.
Muna rayuwa nan dai ba kaman da yake a gida ba, da shike da ana mana abinci a nan a cikin central kitchen ake yi. To yanzu an zo kuma mai da shi kowa yana kansa girki ne. To girkin da kuma ake yin ana kawo abinci ne na wata-wata. A watan kuma bayya isa ya kai wata din kan ya kawo wani. To ana kawo abincin nan za a kawo masara da shinkafa da waken soya. So a cikin kayayyakin ma da shike baya isan ma ana sake dauka a sayar mai, magi da gishiri da kudin nika a ciki da shike ba da wayannan kayayyakin.
Fatima Hassan is another IDP from Goza in Borno State and has been in this camp for 4 years. She was captured by Boko Haram in 2013 but was rescued in 2014 from the shackles of the insurgents. She's a retired teacher who feels more at home now in an IDP camp.
Well, here we have securities around us 24 hours. In Malkohi host community, there is no security. You stay on your own. And as you can see, I have a problem on my legs. I can't do some hard work to take care of myself. But here, government takes care of me. So that's why I found it difficult to go and stay in the host community.
What if they decide to close this camp?
Well, I may think of where to go, but not to the host community.
Mustafa Mohammed is 20 years old. He witnessed his friends being killed during the attack on Goza. He feels lucky to have survived, but most importantly, he admires the bravery in which the Nigerian military rescued them from the insurgents. And this may inform his life's choices.
Lokacin da suka suko, komai ba ma yi, ko walwalan ba ma yi. Komai zamu yi za ce kaza sai ku yi kaza. Komai zamu yi kaza. Ba ma jin daɗi. Lokacin da muna jin daɗi amma da suka shigo mun daina jin daɗi kwata-kwata ma. Ina gama makaranta, ina son shiga soja ma. Ina son kare kasa na ne.
We also speak with Seidu Musa and Fati Idrissa, children in the camp. They speak on their lives in camp and expectations from a society that may have abandoned them.
Ina so an zama ko irin su soja kana taimake kasa na. Ina jin daɗin su saboda suna taimake mu a wannan ba.
Ina an kashe babana masallaci. Muna so kuma gwamnati su gyara mana kasa, muna so mu koma. Ina son zaman likita in zama babban mutum.
A few kilometers away from this camp is an emerging community, the Makohi New Settlement. It is a place of former IDPs that have been absorbed into the Makohi community. But what inspires a village to take in total strangers that probably have totally different cultures from them? The village head of Makohi community says it is the Nigerian spirit.
Ni mu da su manya nan babu masala ko kaɗan sai dai ka san mutane ku ya zo zauna da ku in al'adan ku daban da ba za a risa dan guntu matsala tun daga zama mu murke zama da garin mu ɗaya ma kaga ba za a risa matsala ma to amma matsala tsakanin mu da su manyan nan ga matsala babu to yanzu kam ban gani ba amma kaga abin da yake boye yake gaba sai Allah ne ya sani wannan da in na sani na gani na duba akwai matsala da shi ma na furta gaba da zai magana amma abin da yake gaba boye Allah ne ya sani amma mutane yanda zama mu kam ban gani ba.
And for the former IDPs, they believe they cannot have a more accommodating community. Some are already trying to make themselves comfortable, while some others dream of going back to their ancestral homes.
The time where I came here is 2014. I come here, Boko Haram come arrest all the Goza, and we escaped from Goza to come here. We come and stay, and these people, they come and welcome us. They give the space where we are sitting. So now, according to these people, we don't get any fucking problem. No any problem. Now we are cooperating with them. We are all moving together. We are the same school, the same everything. They are marrying our daughters, we are marrying their daughters. What is going on? But now, the problem, big problem what we have is the hungry. Before, I live at Goza, I am eating 3 times daily at my house. Now, I am eating 1.5.
Why?
Because I don't have anything.
But
because
you said these people have welcomed you.
Yeah, with the land. Then give us land. That is they welcome us with the land.
Mazajin sun zo, mu kuma mun zo da baya. Sujo sun karba mu da hannu biyu, an ba mu fili, mu gyara barkacin Allah barkacin ku kuma a gira mu daki sai mu zauna cikin. Makaranta mun in kun tambake mu, in yaran mu ya shiga makaranta, ai yaula ma Goza ma duk ɗaya ne ai. Ko mu uwan mun tafi ma da uba ma ai yara za su iya su zauna. Zamu iya mu zagaya kansu, in taya mu yayi su ma za su zagaya su yi makaranta a nan.
This is the commercial city of Mubi. It is one of Adamawa's biggest trading arena in the state. People from all across neighboring states and neighboring countries come in here to do business. It has been one of the centers of attack of Boko Haram in the last few years. In fact, just a few weeks ago, there were twin bomb blasts in the central markets.
Mubi is a town in the North Senatorial District of Adamawa State. The major tribes of this town are Gude Nzai and Fali. Minority tribes are Fulani, Magi, Higi, and Mundang. The commercial temperature of this town is very high, with local, national, and international business activities taking place here. In March, the governor of Adamawa State, Mohammed Bindo, promised to have this town as a free trade zone.
This is the old motor park in Mubi. In fact, it is a beehive of commercial activities you can see all around me. I hear that people come from Kano, Borno, and even outside this country, bringing in goods and taking out goods out of Mubi. You can see the business life in Mubi is very active and alive.
No wonder it was a center of attack by insurgents. They saw the viability of capturing a commercial town, and that they did, until the town was liberated by the Nigerian military. But just a few weeks ago, right at this mosque, a suicide bomber hit, and also at this spot near a store. Casualties from these twin bomb blasts are hitting 90 lives.
Actually, I was in my shop. But the incident that happens, they have come around 1 08. They have come to the place. So as I'm inside my shop, I just had the bomb blast. Wham! First one. I said, what happens? So some of my boys outside they said possibly it's a tire for this trailer. So as of that, I just come out, I see, the mocks have spoiled, everywhere have been spoiled. So they said it's Boko Haram. So after that, after some minutes, 4 minutes after that one, the next one again.
The good story about these tragedies is that our victims are all trudging on.
We thank God now, if not because of Mubi, the business has stopped. But Mubi is a business area. It's a large town. People are coming from various places. So people are coming from Cameroon. So people are coming from Chad. So people are coming from different areas of this of the boundary of the town to come and transact business. So if not because of Mubi, I don't think business is going to transact. But we thank God we are getting strangers from different parts of the countries, that's our neighboring countries, to come and transact business here. So business is going normal here. And I want to assure you, even bomb blasts are going to take place for the second time in Mubi. We are not praying for this. I believe it cannot go to stop business here.
People have become so resilient and are refusing to even leave, their homes, saying even if they go elsewhere, they're tired of being a burden on other people. And how do they pick their lives where they're used to their ancestral homes, so there's a lot of, show of wanting to stay put. And so people are actually there, and we have to go and reach them with healthcare. So what our donors have also helped us do is that we have a team of, health workers put together called the outreach teams. So they actually take healthcare into the communities. So we don't wait for them to even come to us in the facilities anymore. Because if we wait, we might have an outbreak of, different conditions that we wouldn't want to, that would not be contained easily. So what this, we call them hard-to-reach teams. So these hard-to-reach teams constitute a team of a nurse or a midwife who is their team lead. And then we have 2 community health extension workers and a medical recorder. So they go around from time to time in each ward of every local government. So there's a group of them for every local government. So they go to them with, specifics of, testing them for common conditions like malaria, pneumonia, diarrhea for the under 5s. And then for the adults, checking them for hypertension, diabetes.
How have you gone about beyond the physical treatments of normal diseases? How have you gone about the trauma management of these people?
Yeah, it's quite difficult, identifying this kind of de-radicalized people who are coming into the community to cause a lot of havoc. But I think more importantly, what was noticed during the whole crisis was that, women play a major role in peace-building efforts. And so there has been a lot of support coming into the state in terms of using women, as the entry point for peace-building efforts in communities. Even though the traditional institution is there, which is well known that is being used, but they have gone further because they found out that a lot of women actually undergo. We found out that women undergo much more trauma than even the men, and so there has been a lot of advocacy, toward women being engaged in peace-building efforts, and I believe it's actually yielding results. Even because you actually find that they can actually talk to each other, and they confide in each other more than to go to the traditional ruler to go and speak to them. So I think what they've also devised in the community is what you call the woman leader thing that they took from the political structure. So in communities where you go to now, you have what they call the woman leader. And that woman leader is the one who is, in charge of, not that she's in charge, but they see her as their point of contact, that they're able to come to, to voice their problems to, and, be able to tell what it is they're going through. This community is quite a conservative one, and a lot of things are, kept you know, inwards. People are shy to speak or are afraid to speak, you know, so it actually has to take a lot to get, you know, to get the stories out of these women and to know exactly what it is they're going through. So I think that's the next stage that most of our donor agencies are actually, you know, concentrating on.
The narrative of the northeast region of Nigeria has been over a decade too negative. Perhaps it is time to rewrite this story. But then the clergy, the media, and especially the international and national non-governmental groups have vital roles to play. We take our posture to representatives of these groups and see what they think can change the course of this narrative.
Welcome to our studio session on Not Another Nigerian. One of the ways of countering violent extremism is trauma management, peace building. All these are rehabilitation, but most importantly, all these form rebuilding lives. And we're going to be talking with a member of the clergy and a member of the fourth estate of the realm, that's the media. We're going to be looking at the role of these two sets of people in trying to rebuild lives in the Nigerian context. We have with us Pastor Zenald Zidon Love of the Unity Chapel, Yola. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
We also have Livinus Hinde of the Punch newspapers in Yola. Now, let's start with you, Pastor. In rebuilding lives, we hear that religious leaders have a lot of role to play. People say that the religious leaders have been too silent for quite a while now in trying to counter violent extremism. They have not spoken enough. Would you agree with this? And if you do, what should a religious leader be doing at this point?
I will say yes and no, because a lot of clergies have been speaking concerning what has been happening. Some had bigger platform to express their hearts, while others do not have. And those who might not have bigger platform have been speaking at the lower level that they have opportunities to express themselves. So there are some who have been speaking and talking, while there are others who have decided to play the ostrich by not trying to comment on issues that has to do with national and what they tag political. So some are afraid, but some have been confident enough to express themselves.
So what exactly should they be doing?
Well, first and foremost, scripturally or biblically, there is a word that says, blessed are the peacemakers. And peace, the presence of peace in every community and every society should be the #1 driving force of every religious leader. And the way you preach, the way you communicate, and the way you encourage your people to be able to reach out to the community and their immediate neighbors. Because if you are not a peacemaker, you will find it difficult to be able to do things that is required to tamper with the insecurity in the country. Because you will flow along with the trend. But if you are a peacemaker, your drive, your passion, your zeal, your ego will be peace on how to make sure that there is peace in every community. So, and you will do that fearlessly, not minding whose foot you step on.
Let me go to the journalists. Many people say that journalists have encouraged violent extremism rather than trying to counter it by promoting hate speeches and promoting the kind of stories that rather disintegrate us rather than integrate us. What's your own view to this?
Well, in the purview of, you know, disseminating information to the public, the Nigerian media largely has fallen, largely, you know, the judgment out there is that it has fallen foul of tending to, you know, to be sensational and at best promoting, you know, hate speech. But largely, you know, we have peculiarities, you know, here in Nigeria because we have a media, you know, that thrives on, one would say, maybe cronyism and some political alliances, you know, but largely, I think the Nigerian media can be said to be culpable, you know, in raising, you know, tensions. And don't forget, you know, what we have in the Northeast is that conflict, you know, does have consequences, you know, and it impacts societies, you know, and all of this we find the vulnerable, you know, in the society, women and children being at the receiving end, you know. So in the end, you know, we have a society and a future that is endangered, you know.
Okay, now tell us, you have scored the Nigerian media quite low in trying to encourage peace building. What exactly? How can they be reporting? What should they report? What should they concentrate on to ensure that there is peace and people actually build their lives? Because a lot of people have gone through trauma and they need to be a trauma management through the media. There needs to be build peace between a victim and an aggressor through the media. How and what should they be doing?
Well, the media first needs to realize that it is promoting the same goals, you know, an open society, a transparent society, a society where the government is held to account. And if you look at the origins of the insurgency, it is steeped in an anti-corruption, you know, crusade, which went awry. And you should know that insurgencies, you know, are easy to make, you know, and hard to stop, but they have recipes, you know. And what are these? Recipes like, an aggrieved, you know, population, a government that refuses to compromise, and, you know, and a quorum of angry people. So how do we do this? First of all, when the government refuses, you know, to compromise, you know, and fails in its responsibilities of being accountable, ensuring that the welfare of the people, you know, is the paramount welfare and security of the people is the, you know, it's, you know, the fundamental principle of governance. Then the media, you know, has this role as a fourth estate to hold government to account and ensure that, you know, the government is accountable.
Okay, so let me come to Pastor now. What kind of works should the clergy be doing to show love and peace, both from the Christian and Muslim faith?
Okay. Let me make a little clarity here. The office of a priest is the connection between the citizens and God. The office of a king is to make sure everything that comes out of the mouth of priests, out of the mouth of God to the citizens, communicated by the priest is done, is executed. So if the priest is holding on to that office of being a representative of God, who is the peacemaker, and giving you the responsibility to make peace, you speak directly what you hear. And in your absence, the government makes sure that that thing that you've spoken is executed. Now, but because we live in a society where everybody wants to have his way, things are being turned the other way around, just because possibly maybe the priest do not have cash in his hand. But the words of a priest to the citizens are supposed to be held in high esteem. Now, the reason why we have the police, the army, the SSS, the civil defense, immigrations, and even the Megad is to make sure that there is peace in this nation. So it is our duty as clergymen to speak peace, to preach peace, and to teach harmonious living among citizens. And it's the duty of the government to make sure that that harmony is established.
Okay, I'm going to turn the tables around and ask you, Livinus, as a journalist, do you think the religious leaders, community leaders are doing enough? Because you have interacted with them, you have seen it. Do you think that in this country, they are doing enough to ensure that there is peace?
Well, saying what I have to say right now, with what we have seen, you know, you would know that if we do have as much influence coming from the religious bodies, I don't think we would have gotten to the state that we are in. Because it is a conglomeration of, you know, failure, societal failures, governmental failures, you know, even parental failure from the home itself. When parents, you know, fail in living up to their own duties, you know, that they have a duty of care and giving good education to their kids, but have abnegated those responsibilities. And if you check the origins of, you know, the conflict, you know, that we have in society, these are the roots of it. Now, the church, you know, the religious bodies, you know, even in the aftermath of, you know, these conflicts, where they need to come in, you know, and provide remedy, except for some of the more orthodox churches. The religious bodies, you know that it is, you know, part of their own creed, you know, to intervene. But largely, you know, a good number of them have actually not lived up to those responsibilities.
Okay, so it's time for your own judgment or your own results from... I know you want to react to that, but you probably just react briefly and talk about what the media should be doing, basically, or if they are doing quite well.
Well, first of all, everybody relates to the needs based on what they have. Some people actually do not have what it takes to stretch their hands. They are basically struggling to survive. So those can be excused. But there are some who have more, but they are not doing. And it's sometimes there are administrative protocols. There are certain things that you cannot do as a branch, except you are given instructions from headquarters. So those are things that you have to bear with certain people. But there are individuals who God has blessed, who can reach out to people, and they are not doing anything. Those are the people we should query, because God has blessed us, and if you are able to eat 3 times a day, you can sacrifice one of the meal and help the needy with. And that will take us... I mean, Nigerians are known to be people that care for one another, whether, no matter your religion, no matter what you believe. I come from a community that they support you without even knowing you. So Nigerians are good people when it comes to help. We just find ourselves in this modernization that is deceiving us, O Israel, to your tent, and we are not giving helping hands to each other. But generally, Nigerians are good people and they help. So when it comes to the issue about the media, well, the media, they've tried. They've tried to allow black to be black and white to be white. The problem, the challenges the media are having is the political power never wants the media to express, to say the truth as it ought to be said. They want everything to be covered. They want everything to be put under the blanket. And the media has been struggling to say the truth. But the media is struggling to make sure that the truth is heard. You could find out that most of the things that are happening in this country today, you hardly can find them in the main media. You find them in the social media. Why? Because most of the medias are being gagged. So the media men deserve some accolade and some celebrations and encouragement from the masses, because they have been struggling to express their pains and the voice of the voiceless even in the midst of when there is nothing to do. I've been close to the media. I've seen how some of them have been struggling. Some of them have to use their phones because their cameras are seized. Some of them, they shut them down. Some of them, they keep dodging. So the media, men and women, deserve accolades from the citizens because they've tried. Nigerian level of exposure today, I mean, Nigerians need to be grateful to the media men and women. I mean, as they call themselves, gentlemen of the press. We need to celebrate them. They've tried their best, but they can do better.
Thank you very much, Livinus Hindi of the Punch newspapers. Thank you for talking with us on the role of the media and the clergy in rebuilding lives. And of course, we want to thank Professor Zenal Zidan Love of the Unity Chapel in Yola. Thank you very much, sir, for coming on the program and talking with us on this issue. But we're not done with the discussions yet. We're going to be talking with a member of a civil society group who will be speaking to us about the role of civil society groups in trying to rebuild lives.
When you look at most of the succor that are coming in, it comes in either relief materials, food, and the likes of them. These are the basic things we need. You need to educate these people. You need to educate the masses on the dangers of all these things. You have to provide other programs that these people, when they involve themselves in it, is going to help. Once these people are educated, they will differentiate between the dangers of joining the insurgents and the dangers of, or rather, the positive aspect of doing the positive things that will help. So I am not condemning the relief materials per se, but there should be a lasting program that will bring these people out of all this suffering.
The lives of Nigerians are sacred. The love of Nigerians is closely knit. But not another Nigerian deserves to experience the woes of these victims, like Seydou Musa or Fati Idrissa, who saw her father killed, or Mohammed Mustafa, who saw his friends killed by insurgents. Not another Nigerian like Fatima Hassan needs to be captured and face an almost death situation in the bushes of Sambisa. We all have our part to play. You must ask yourself, what is my role? Follow our hashtags on social media, Not Another Nigerian,